What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, DN commentary. I'm just sitting around on DN, kind of lurking, watching some matches. We got iTweety Free the Bird, 1445 versus Flaming Ice, 1722. This is an OCG plus TCG rules match. Now, I had seen in Vexicus's video, he was talking about how iTweety plays Infernoids. I know Infernoids in the OCG look a little different than they do in the TCG. Mainly, they run this card called something arm. It's like right arm sacrifice or something like that. So anyways, he activated, I believe, Void Imagination and then did this. Dude, I don't remember what Void Imagination does off the top of my head. I know for a fact that in the OCG they run like 3 copies of that card. And I believe it lets you summon Tierra. So let's see, when this card is fusion summoned, you can apply effects depending on the number of fusion materials with different names. I wonder how many cards he actually used to use it. Let's just see. Each player sends 3 cards from their extra deck to the graveyard. Each player sends... Oh! Huh, interesting. You know, it just dawned on me. If you send other Tierras to the graveyard, you can banish her for other Infernoids. I never even thought about that. Okay. So, let's see. And there's also the 5 effect, which is each player sends the top 3 cards. That's obviously good for Infernoids. And then there's the 8 effect. Each player returns 3 banished cards from the graveyard. The 10 effect. Each player sends their entire hand to the graveyard. All right, so they're pretty much all good. Oh, net this. Oh, okay, there's that. Yo, Konami, please get this card to the TCG so we can do the OCG shenanigans. I don't think she's ban-worthy, by the way. I know that Norden got the axe, but like, the reason I don't think Netis is ban-worthy is you have to run specific cards to kind of use her. Like she's not the like OP play enabler that Norden is. She does help. She does nuke boards, but I don't think she's anywhere as OP as what's it called. I don't think she is anywhere OP as Norden. And I would really like it if Netis would come to the TCG. So that is a pretty cool play. So when Netis is sent to the graveyard, I believe you destroy a card on the field, right? Let's see. Once per turn, you can... Okay, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. You can only special summon 1 Netis per turn. So, yeah, you can instant fusion her too, by the way. So, they need the... What's it called? So, he's going to use 2 Netises. And let me read that one more time. Okay, it does target. That's the first thing I wanted. Like, do you target Netis? You have to target. Alright, so both players are sending cards from their extra to the grave. Oh, and he's playing the Omega version too. Fair enough. I played against a Monarch player who did this to me. Ooh, both copy Auroriai's are Gonzo. So both cards got targeted. And yeah, I believe that you send Omega to the grave because Omega can just like, it can use the extra deck effect, or it can use the return a card to return itself. Like, you don't even really summon it. Well, it's Infernoid, so you will summon Omega sometimes, but you use that effect mainly just because, or you use that card mainly because it can return itself. There's another Void Imagination, hits a Decatron. Could easily dump Antra, assuming he still has Antra in his, assuming he still has Antras left. And he could obviously spin this. Nope, goes for Harmadique. And it's going to activate that Harmadique effect. Okay, looks like he's going to chain to rank it up. I guess Pallades. Goes for Azeroth. Okay, so there's Outer Entity Azeroth. I wonder if there's a lore between the Outer Entities and... Yeah, the Outer Entities and the Elder Entities. Like, I wonder if that's a lore there, like if they're all gods or what. So this makes it so neither player can use... I don't think either player can use effects of monsters for the rest of the turn. After this card is Xyz summoned, your opponent can... Oh, nope, excuse me, just your opponent. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn. If this card has a fusion, synchro, and Xyz, I think you like detach and blow up the field. Detach 1 Xyz material from this card, destroy all cards your opponent controls. So it nukes the board. It's not going to be relevant here because, I mean, actually I have seen somebody summon this using all 3, but usually they don't. Usually people just rank it up into that. All right, activates another Void Imagination. I believe this converts all your Infernoids to like level 2. So you can totally work around, yeah, you can totally work around that whole not being able to use, not being able to summon when you have levels that are higher than 8. So summons out Devati. And, okay. Looks like he's going to summon out an Untundel, and keep this in mind, these are not monster effects. They don't start chains or anything like that. They're just inherent summons. Even from the graveyard, they're inherent summons. Looks like he's going to attack with Devati. Why didn't he attack with Untundel, though? Oh, well, no, that doesn't matter. Untundel can't attack twice because you can't use monster effects. So he can just do, all you can really do is just raw damage here. All right, and Flaming Ice gets wrecked. Pepe not even good. All right, so I guess this is because like Infernoids are actually starting to see a lot of meta play in the OCG. I did not know about the Nethys thing. That Nethys play is actually pretty nuts. That Nethys play is like disgusting. I tweet he says side out wavering. What? Got some Patrick Hoban level offerings right there, man. I don't think I tweet he plays Wavering Eyes. So, I mean, maybe he does. But I'm looking at this deck and I'm comparing it to the TCG. Nobody runs Void Imagination. And I think Void Imagination also says, like, if you don't control any monsters and your opponent controls like a monster from the extra deck, that you get to use monsters from your... I'm pretty sure that's what it said. Or something to that effect. And that's why Void Imagination was like so nuts. So I guess in the OCG... they use right arm sacrifice or left arm sacrifice, whichever one it is, to get reasoning and Void Imagination. And that's just like the win condition. And this deck isn't stopped by like, it's not stopped by Soul Drain. It's not stopped by Abyss Dweller. It's not stopped by a lot of the like common cards people play to like lock out decks like Mermill. No one plays Defissure and Macro. Like people just don't play those cards anymore. So he's going second, Flaming Ices. And the thing is, it's kind of hard to play hand traps and Infernoids because you mess up with reasoning. You know, you never want to play that many hand traps in Infernoids. Calls level 1. All right. Mills his first reasoning. Anti-Dank Fragrance. Breakthrough Skill. Onu. Void Seer. Devati. Harmadique. Patru. Okay. Not Patru. What's it called? Decatron. Okay, so misses out on Decatron. Looks like he's gonna summon turn 1. Goes for Stydamus and plays Instant Fusion. No surprise there. Looks like he might be trying to synchro here. Goes for Norden. Might go for Decatron's effect. Or excuse me, might target Decatron. He does. And Synchro Summon for an 8 probably. It's a shame that Norton's just going to have to die though. Unless he can somehow summon another 4. Nope. No 4Zs. Norton dies and Anti-Spell is immediately flipped over. Okay. Returns his banished Devati. Interesting. Double Anti-Spell Fragrances. Well, I guess he only drew 1. Okay, there's Damage Juggler. I would immediately use my effect. if I was him for Omega, I would immediately use it because it's pretty obvious you have Hat Tricker in your hand. If not Hat Tricker, then I guess Gigabyte. If you have Gigabyte, I'm fucked anyways. So I would immediately, the second you summon this, I would immediately use Omega's effect. Because you have a full hand, but I would guess you're trying to summon Hat Tricker. And if there's not 2 monsters on the board, then you can't summon it. So, like, the second that you summon that damn... Because that's not a very strong opening, by the way, either. I'd be like, oh, you have Hat Tricker, and you're blatantly telegraphing it. I guess I'll just use this effect. Again, if you have Gigabyte or... I think it's just really Gigabyte for the most part. Then I really don't think that I could... I'm fucked anyways. I can't really do anything. All right, so he targets a card in his hand. And let me move that out the way. You guys are like, Cap, get that out the way, you dip. What the heck? Oh, Rage quits. Oh, man. Dude, get wrecked. See? Oh, my God. Dude, Pepe's not even good. What's going on, Performages and Pals? Thank you guys for watching as always.